Right.
We're going to break down both 2D and 3D CAD for you.
Yeah.
And we're pulling from actual course reports and expert insight
Oh, wow.
to give you like a real advantage.
Okay.
And get this,
What?
the graphic communication course reports show the students are doing pretty well with CAD.
Really?
But there are a few spots where they could seriously level up.
Okay.
So we've got our expert here to help us unpack all of this.
Yeah.
And, guide you on your design journey.
It's really amazing to see how these higher graphic students are embracing CAD.
Yeah.
And today we're going to explore those fundamental 2D and 3D tools.
Right.
Everything from lines and circles to extrusions and revolves.
Right.
And we're going to show you how to use them to create really impressive designs.
Okay, let's start with the foundation 2D CAD.
Yeah.
It might seem basic. You've got your lines.
Mm.
All right, your circles, your arcs, splines, rectangles, polygons, ellipses, and points.
Well.
But mastering these
Yeah.
is absolutely crucial.
Absolutely.
I mean, these shapes are the building blocks
Right.
of pretty much everything you design.
Yeah, it's like this.
Okay.
You wouldn't expect to write a novel
Right.
without knowing your alphabet right.
Uh-huh.
So mastering these basic shapes and commands like fillet, array, mirror, offset,
Right.
trim, extend, and projecting edges and geometry
Uh-huh.
is what sets you up for success in 3D. It's
Right.
that important.
And speaking of arrays,
Okay.
the 2022 report
Right.
had this fascinating finding.
What's that?
You wouldn't believe
What?
how many students
Okay.
tripped up on a simple array calculation.
Oh, really?
It seems like spacing, can be a bit of a head-scratcher.
It's a common mistake,
Right.
but so easily avoided. The trick is to remember that you're dividing the total distance by the number of gaps in the array,
Right.
not the number of instances.
Okay.
Get that right,
Uh-huh.
and you'll be creating perfect arrays in no time.
That's a really good tip.
Yeah.
And while we're on the topic of things that trip students up,
Okay.
the 2022 report also highlighted another area
Yeah.
where students could improve,
Okay.
breaking down those complex models into simpler primitives.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right.
That skill is pure gold.
Yeah.
If you can train your eye to see a complex object as a collection of basic shapes, like cylinders, cubes, and spheres,
Right.
it makes the whole modeling process so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, those intimidating designs become much more approachable.
So you're saying that mastering 2D CAD is like building a solid foundation
Absolutely.
for your 3D design work.
Once you've got those 2D skills down pat, you are ready to step into the world of 3D CAD.
All right.
Yeah.
Now things are getting really exciting. We're entering the third dimension.
Yes.
It's like taking those 2D shapes and like giving them a whole new life.
Exactly. Remember those 2D shapes we talked about?
Uh-huh.
In 3D, they become the profiles you'll use to extrude, revolve, and loft your designs.
Right.
Think of extruding as stretching a shape along a straight path.
Okay.
Revolving is like spinning a shape around an axis to create a 3D form.
Uh-huh.
And lofting allows you to create smooth transitions between different shapes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like having a digital sculpting toolkit.
It is.
Before we go any further, though, we need to talk about work planes.
Okay.
They're a fundamental concept in 3D modeling,
Yeah.
and they can be a bit tricky to wrap your head around at first.
Think of a work plane as a virtual sheet of glass that you can sketch on in 3D space.
Okay.
It's all about positioning those sketches precisely so you can build your 3D models accurately.
The Tech3D YouTube channel had a great tip for working with work planes.
Oh.
Don't be afraid to experiment with different work plane creation methods.
That's a good one.
You can offset from an existing face,
Right.
use intersecting planes,
Mm-hmm.
or even define them using points and axes.
It's about finding the method that works best for the specific design you're working on.
Right.
Now, here's something that might blow your mind.
Okay.
Work planes in Inventor are actually infinite.
Whoa.
You're not limited by what you see on your screen. You can create features way off in the distance knowing that your work plane extends forever.
That's wild.
It is.
And another quirky tip from the Tech3D videos, don't sweat those orange and blue sides on work planes.
Oh, right.
I know it can be a bit distracting,
Yeah.
but it's just a visual cue.
And if it really bothers you,
Yeah.
there's a simple fix. The flip normal command.
Okay.
It instantly swaps those colors.
Oh, wow. Problem solved.
Exactly.
Now that we've got work planes covered, are you ready to dive into some of the core 3D modeling techniques?
Let's do it. We're talking about extruding, revolving, lofting, and even throwing in a helix for good measure.
Hold on, before we get too carried away.
Oh, okay.
I think it's important to emphasize that understanding the model tree is absolutely vital in 3D CAD.
It is.
The 2023 report actually showed that a lot of students struggled.
Really?
Because they didn't quite grasp the concept of the model tree.
Oh, that's a shame.
The model tree is like a roadmap of your design. It shows you the hierarchy of all the features you've created.
Okay.
And the order in which they were made.
Right.
It's crucial for making edits.
Yeah.
And ensuring that your model is built logically.
Absolutely.
Some students were overwriting dimensions instead of correcting the modeling order in the tree.
Right.
That's like trying to build a house starting with the roof.
Exactly. A solid understanding of the model tree can save you so much time and frustration down the road.
Right.
Trust me, it's worth taking the time to really get comfortable with it.
Okay, now that we've covered the importance of the model tree, let's get back to those exciting 3D modeling techniques. We've got extruding, revolving, lofting.
And don't forget extruding along a path. That one's super useful for creating those flowing curves and complex shapes. Imagine you're designing a sleek, ergonomic handle.
Right.
You could sketch a profile and then extrude it along a curved path to create that perfect flowing shape.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Or let's say you're working on a spiral staircase.
Okay.
The helix command would be perfect for that.
Right.
Allowing you to create that spiraling form with ease.
Exactly.
It's like having a digital toolbox full of creative possibilities.
It is.
It really is.
And once you've created those basic forms, you can refine them with a whole range of modeling edits.
Okay.
Fillet, chamfer, shell.
Okay.
And remember, you can use the add, subtract, or intersect options with each of these commands to really fine-tune your designs.
Can you give us some examples of how those modeling edits might be used in a real design scenario?
Absolutely. Let's say you've designed the basic shape of a phone case. You could use the fillet command to round off those sharp edges,
right,
giving it a more comfortable feel in your hand. Then let's say you want to add a speaker grill. You could use the shell command to hollow out a section of the case, creating the perfect space for the speaker.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. And what about that array command we were talking about earlier? Could you use that in 3D as well?
Of course. Imagine you need to create a series of evenly spaced buttons on your phone case. The array command would be the perfect tool for that.
Right.
And if you need to create symmetrical features, the mirror command will be your new best friend.
Okay.
It's all about working smarter, not harder.
Right.
Exactly. It's like having this whole arsenal of digital tools at your disposal.
Right.
But even the most incredible 3D model is just a digital blueprint.
Right.
The 2022 report was pretty clear about the importance of high-quality renders.
Oh, really?
They actually called out students for submitting renders that were lacking in detail.
Really?
It's like baking an amazing cake, but forgetting to frost it.
So how do you take a render from like meh to wow?
It's all about the finishing touches.
Okay.
Think materials, textures, and lighting.
Okay.
You want to choose materials that accurately reflect the real-world properties of your object.
Right.
Is it made of smooth metal, rough wood, or maybe soft fabric?
Okay.
Each material will react to light differently.
And textures are so important for adding depth and visual interest.
Absolutely.
Even something as simple as a wood texture can transform a basic cube into a realistic-looking wooden block.
Absolutely. And then there's lighting. Lighting is where you can really make a render sing.
Okay.
Experiment with different light sources, angles, and intensities. See how they create shadows, highlights, and reflections that make your render look almost photorealistic.
It's like you're setting the stage for a photo shoot.
Yeah.
Showcasing your design in the best possible light.
Right.
Now, before we wrap up, we have one final thought-provoking question for you. It's inspired by the 2023 report, and it could give you a real advantage in your design journey. Okay, are you ready for this? Have you ever thought about how cloud computing and cloud storage could transform your design workflow?
That's a really good question. The 2023 SQA report found that a lot of students didn't fully grasp the potential of cloud-based tools.
Oh.
And that's a real missed opportunity.
It seems like cloud computing could be like a game changer.
Especially when you're working on the complex design projects.
Think about it. You could be collaborating on a design in real time with your classmates.
Right.
Sharing files seamlessly and accessing your work from anywhere.
Right.
With an internet connection.
Right.
It opens up this whole new world of possibilities.
That would be so convenient, especially if you're working on a project outside of class.
Yeah.
No more worrying about transferring files back and forth.
And here's another huge benefit.
Okay.
Cloud storage also provides an extra layer of security.
Right.
Your designs are backed up and protected, so you don't have to worry about losing your work if your computer crashes.
That peace of mind is so valuable, especially when you've poured hours into a design.
It is.
It sounds like exploring cloud-based tools could give higher graphics students a real edge.
It's definitely something worth investigating.
Hmm.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to emphasize one more thing.
Mm.
The importance of practice.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to experiment, push those creative boundaries, and keep learning.
Right. The world of CAD modeling is constantly evolving, so embrace the challenge and just see where it takes you.
That's such great advice. So to recap what we've learned today, mastering those foundational 2D CAD skills
Yeah.
is like setting the stage for success in 3D modeling.
Uh-huh.
Then it's all about understanding those key 3D concepts,
Right.
like work planes and the model tree.
And remember, as you embark on this design journey, don't underestimate the power of cloud computing and cloud storage. It can really revolutionize the way you work
Right.
and give you a competitive advantage. Remember, every great design starts with a single line, a single circle, a single click.
Happy designing, everyone.